All right. Okay, we're live. You got Poe and AJ Pax. He'll be in a couple of seconds. You got Poe and AJ Pax. Poe and the community speaks. This is the podcast. But we got things to discuss today, like I say every day, but we got things to discuss today. Some of it might not be mainly video game conversations, but we're going to be talking about boxing in general, things about boxing. But I got a couple of things that might take some of y'all off. But I have to tell the truth. All right, let me get YouTube set up. Make sure everything's correct with the YouTube. I said tape. Mike Adams in the house. Salute. Appreciate you coming back today. You been here every day, man. Salute. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I got the camera working too. I don't know what that was all about. It could be because I have a lot of my tabs open because I'm always, like I be telling everybody, that's why I have a lot of brain fog sometimes because I'm doing a lot of things. I'm like Rain Man. I gotta go through all these different ideas. I try to make calculations and stuff, and I don't want to lose the information that I had from something else. And then I try to go back and like, Dad, what was I thinking about? That's why I keep some tabs open. Sometimes it end up being like 20 tabs because I be cross-referencing things. I'm like a scientist. I am a scientist, technically, but not technical. Let me see. Yeah, the show started. I'm waiting for AJ to come in here. He got some things he want to talk about, and I got some things I want to talk about. And then we'll get into the everyday conversations. I don't want this show to really be about Undisputed, but when I start talking about different things, it's going to always be about Undisputed. It's going to always kind of be about Undisputed or Fight Night Champion. And I respect those that love Fight Night Champion. I respect you, Don D. You play it and then you make it look better than to me what it is. Especially when I was saying stuff and the developer agreed with me that made Fight Night Champion. That like made me feel a little better because they were saying it's not a realistic boxing game. People may try to play it like a realistic boxing game, and I gotta put this joke out there. They playing Fight Night Champion the way it's supposed to be played. I think that's where Ash got that from. No, I'm playing around. All right. When you used to spar Shannon Briggs, did he used to say, "Let's go check"? No, that came later. That was something new. Shannon branded himself. Shannon was a genius. He branded himself. He had to find a way to brand who he was. Shannon had a lot of people around him, and his cousin Troy. I hope he's well. His cousin Troy. He tried to keep some family members around him, give them jobs and different things. But Shannon was a great guy, even though he's like I think 3 years younger than me or 2 years younger than me. Shannon he talks like an elder. We used to walk around, and he was talking to me. And it's like sometimes it seemed like your mind not really into the sport, and it was always I was like when I see all these champions that I used to be sparring or I'm around, and then I see the predicament I was in, I always felt some type of way. Because Shannon used to always try to encourage me. It's like, oh, AJ Pack's back. Let me pull him in. heck I'm doing? Give me a second. AJ. Oh, there you go. She drinking hot cocoa with a little extra. I can't hear you. What's going on?
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, you every it's like every day you making the pictures bigger and bigger to make sure we
Yeah,
see what's going on. I'm
exactly,
telling
man.
you, man,
I'm
y'all
getting,
related, man.
hey,
Y'all
yeah,
related.
that's why I'm telling the guy come on the show, man. I'll make him feel comfortable.
Yeah. But y'all the same like ethnicity is, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because that I'm looking, I'm like, Dad, man. I thought it was you at first until you told me.
Either it's Ash, man.
Oh man. And the arcade game plan. Now I can see exactly what you was talking about with the scam. I know Will Kinsler scamming himself. Yeah, you got some valid points that you was trying to you was gonna talk about today. And AJ might not be here as long as everybody want him to be. Oh, what's up? Lamont Davis 89. Appreciate you coming in. Which Shannon Briggs did you meet, Mike Adams? The bald Shannon Briggs or the dreadlock Shannon Briggs?
So what are you starting off with?
You can start off with what you were going to talk about because I
Well,
did it again. I didn't like do the script because I already had talking points that I was going to talk about, but I didn't like do a script because I was actually trying to work on two things at one time because I'm doing another avatar video talking about when two and this what game companies never got right. They never educated fans about. Like if two boxers have the same rating, that don't mean they're the same thing. The same things. So I was trying to dig
yeah.
deeper than that. I touched on it yesterday. Because if there's three people that's let's say they 89, they can be 89, but visually when you see them and the way you feel about them, you're gonna say, no, he's not an 89, but he's faster than the boxer that you like. So it's gonna boost his numbers up. You see what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing with like all, I'll say with any game, any sports game, it could be any sport we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Even 2D fighting games, like a Streets of Rage or whatever, right? Like a 2D fighter, people are always gonna want, they're always gonna look for the person who's the fastest in order to try to get that advantage and glitch the thing. But that's like, how do you contain that?
but that's the thing. Education. They're doing all these marketing promotions and all these different things. They can educate them. Say, oh, you might have two boxers that has the same rating, and then you explain to them why they have the same ratings, or they let us tweak it, or let us tweak it to our liking. But a lot of people they really don't they wasn't educated. All these years we had sports games and people don't see the logic behind it.
But how can you compare? How do you compare that to let's just say we're playing a NBA game, NBA 2K, and
Yeah,
you have same thing. You have guys with they can have the same rating, but they have different playing styles. They have different what they excel in. You know what I mean?
yeah. That's when the education part you come to say, well, Jordan was this, and let me see who can I compare Jordan. Allen Iverson was this. They were both good players, but they might have the same overall. But what distincted Jordan from Allen Iverson? You see what I'm saying? Visually, you can see there's a difference,
Right.
because you would say Jordan is stronger. So his strength might be bigger than Allen Iverson. But then Allen Iverson's speed might be bigger than Jordan's, and that what makes it a 89, a 98 or whatever you want to give them. That's the education part about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people always going because to me they're advertising to the casual, but they're not educating the casual. Because like even Ash, you know, when I always say this, when he keeps saying you can make a hardcore fan out of casual, which he stole from me, that's the part that you educate a person on. Then people start thinking more. They'll do more research. Oh, that's why they got an 89. They both have an 89, or they both don't have as much as people think they should have.
But this argument you make, is this for online or offline?
That's what it should be for both. To me, it should be for both. Because I hear some people in the community say that it shouldn't be a distinction. Actually, if they make it a realistic game, it shouldn't be a real huge distinction between online and offline. If you have a realistic boxing experience offline, it should transfer to online. And then some people say, "Oh, well, suppose we have esports. Is it going to be overpowered?" No, it should be about skill, not about what the player can do. It has to have esports have to, like, when it's representing boxing as a sport, it has to have that boxing feel. It's got to be strategy. Just like even in esports, it's strategy. It's strategy. These players are strategic players.
But here's the thing. Where I'm thinking about is what ends up happening. Let's just say for online, when you give a person, okay, you're gonna create your own fighter. What you'll notice with online, everybody will end up being the same because everybody wants to be taller and faster. Or nobody's gonna put. That's one of the biggest flaws with EA games. That one of the biggest exploits that's been going for years is that you don't have to put any weight. But the thing is, the EA game, it does take into account that, okay, if you're playing a basketball game, you're gonna dunk on somebody. The heavier you are, more successful you're gonna be, right? But the thing is, once you start taking off the weight, people just want to be able to break the physics, because you could go so faster. You know what I mean? It's like you make a guy that's like he's like 5'6". No weight, nothing. It blurs the reality of the game after. But then that's what I'm saying. People are always gonna. That's the only thing I see when you
benefits them.
Yeah, it's just something about it's something to do with the environment of the game.
Yeah, but that at this point in like far as people growing up in sports, because a lot of people, they didn't grow up in sports. Like it was like their uncle, their father, their grandfather, they were enveloped into sports. But the generations, their kids are in the sports. They look at sports all the time, so they know that there's more to the sport, and you can educate them. But companies are not doing that. And my thing, if you got the modes and the options, we should be able to have what we want. Even when you see people like in Operation Sports, I've been there from day one. Like when they first made it, they have people that's tweaking different things, and you know, then you got certain casual thinking people saying, "No, why isn't he a 87?" He said, "Play the guy, play the basketball player, play him." And then you'll realize that he's the same as the other basketball player. It's your skill level. Right. It's how you use them that changes everything. Because if I'm not trying to act like I'm a expert in everything, but if I had a boxer who's 65 or 66, but I know how to use him, and he beats a 97 character, that should say a lot. And that's what Ash thinking was at one time. And then that disappeared. Because a lot of people, 60 said it's a lot of people that beat high level boxers because of their skill set, not because of how you felt they were rating in your mind. Shoot, look at who's that? Mike Tyson, when he lost, even though he was older, but he lost to guys that they were not really doing good in boxing. I'm talking about his last 3 official losses. They weren't skilled with what McBride, and these guys weren't. They was just big. He wasn't really a skilled boxer. Look at
Yeah, but you know what? Wait, going back to Tyson, that fight, was it McBride? The one after the fight, he said he broke his back. Is that the same fight?
Nah, I don't remember. I really
there was a huge upset, but that time Mike was almost like he was. I think that was his last fight. The last fight he had, and he said after that, I broke my back, kind of thing, right? It was a big. I think it was like a big guy from Australia or something. Not a impressive record, but it was McBride then. Yeah, the issue there is it was too much weight for Mike Tyson at that point in his career.
Yeah,
McBride probably outweighed him, but he must outweighed him at least 40 pounds or more.
Yeah, but that was the way he was in his career. Like, he wasn't the Mike Tyson we were used to. Because Tyson, like I keep telling people act like Mike Tyson wasn't fighting big guys. He was fighting guys 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
In his era.
Check this out. So that fight happened in 2005. Tyson weighed 233. McBride came in at 271.
Yeah, that's for Mike Tyson. That's a lot of. I mean, for
old Mike Tyson at that point.
He says final. It was final.
It was final.
The way he was saying it, the way how Mike Tyson talk with that lift.
Oh.
Yeah, but
and you know what? You know why I remember that fight too. I won money. I remember I was in a bar. I was in a pub, and people were gambling. And I said, and everybody at that time, there was still a mystique about Mike Tyson at that point. But I could tell, like at that point, Mike Tyson was getting past his thing.
Yeah, and you could look at Mike Tyson. It wasn't the same energy. He even
said
it was the energy.
But it was off me the weight. I figured that weight. I don't think he could have handled it.
No, I don't think it's the weight because he fought big guys. He fought like for his weight. He fought big guys. Even in his pro debut, again, I think the guy outweighed him like 30 pounds. In his pro.
Yeah, but that was like in his early 20s.
Yeah,
or his 20s career kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. When he was older, it didn't make sense for him, especially when your mind is not there. Now, if you were physically there and everything, Mike Tyson would have beat the brakes off of him. Because it's about wear and tear. It's not when people's career lasts longer, it's about the wear and tear they had in fights. Like Floyd. Floyd don't really have wear and tear. Besides his brittle hands, he doesn't have wear and tear. He can fight. If he wanted to, he could still fight. But he gonna do the exhibitions. He making sure that he don't put himself in harm's way.
Also, too, by that time, Tyson was knocked out, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 times he was already knocked out.
Yeah.
In his career. Not even some of the knockdowns too, but he took damage at that point.
Yeah, but I seen jokers that got knocked out and they come back in their career, even though I feel that they're brittle, because once you start getting hit on that chin, it's something in your mind that like I guess is a protective thing, but something in your mind like makes your jaw like it's not there no more. That's why a lot of boxers, they know they've set up a way that they could protect themselves. That's why a lot of boxers don't invest in, well, if I'm gonna do this for long term, I gotta be able to defend myself. Like Roy Jones, even though I think I contribute a lot of what happened to him when he first got knocked out. It's from weight drain. I know the feeling. I got stopped in an amateur fight because of my weight drain. I went from 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds for a fight because I wanted to fight this guy. Everybody was talking about him. He was the major guy. He was light heavyweight. I was a heavyweight. Now imagine losing 20 pounds to get down to light heavyweight just to fight a certain person. I was throwing all these punches, hitting him. He didn't stop me. I stopped myself because I was worn out. I was like, I couldn't throw no more punches.
Yo, so, would you say, in respect to Undisputed, then that was one good point of their career mode, that they took that in consideration? This the whole idea if you come into the fight overweight, or could it have been better in the career mode?
Yeah, that should it sounded good on paper because technically that's what we was looking at, a paper. Because the whole career mode is like a text sim with added characters at some point. Yeah, but the overweight thing, yeah, but it gotta visually respond to what they're saying you can't.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not taking into account the whole idea that that you're trying to make weight in the strain. It doesn't take in that. It doesn't know how to do it. They don't know about that. That's something that's a missing, I would say, aspect in the career mode.
Element, and it can be implemented. That's why, because a lot of people, they be talking for Steel City. The reason why they didn't add it is because they can't do it. Like, it can't be done.
It could be done. It could be done. It's just you have to have somebody in there who has a game plan. Exactly. They have to understand. You know what I mean? And that's or even just understand the importance to make how you're trying to make the game. You're trying to make it more realistic. Then.
Yeah. Didn't have. I literally lined them up for people that could implement those in the game accurately. I lined them up.
And here we go. It's over a year now. What development? No development in this game. This is it, man.
None. All they got.
They dropped this as the final. There's nothing else they can improve, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
But
it's like you calling a repairman. It's like you calling a repairman to fix something that you got, and that's it. They're not really adding anything of value to the game besides the DLC.
Right. Yeah, I know you haven't played Undisputed in a while, but at the time, what were your thoughts on the catch and shoot mechanics in it?
It was kind of absent to me, I think. I don't remember that's right there tells you a lot. I don't even remember there being a catch and shoot mode in the game.
There is catch and shoot. Like I was pull up some videos to see people demonstrate it. So there is some catch and shoot. But here's the thing now. Because we don't have manual blocking in the game, but the manual blocking, you control exactly what punch you want to catch then or where you want to block. But this one, we have the auto blocking. So what's happening is if you're trying to catch a punch up here, maybe you're trying to guard the side, right? Yeah. You can't control it. You have to use the weave mechanic and lean. You have to lean in order to activate it.
Yeah.
But that was the compromise, right? Because they don't want to give manual blocking. So you have to lean and then it'll raise it here. So here's the thing now. That everybody's for a while now. I was thinking about it. Everyone's talking about this hula hooping and this people glitching the block and all kind of stuff. It's because of the game design. Because Steel City didn't, for whatever reason, they don't want people to control the block, but instead they want you to lean in order to raise it like that. That's why you have people doing these pendulum things and glitching the game out. That's simply what it comes down to. And that's a design flaw, but that's a design issue by Steel City.
Yeah, it is
because they don't want you to have they don't want you to control the block. I don't get it, but they want the game to play like that, and that's the end result. They basically shot themselves in the foot by doing that. But here's the thing now: how many people do you don't hear? None of the content creators on their team. They don't talk about that decision. and how no everyone's talking, you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about how you could glitch the block, all that kind of stuff, but no one's talking about why it's happening. But that's it. It was a design decision by them. They fuck up their own game, and nobody's saying anything about it.
Yeah. And I think some of the creators that actually know boxing or know are like true boxing fans, they're not saying anything at all. And that's crazy. They're accepting everything. My thing is, once you gotta bring something to, you know, when you asking them these questions, like when they was in the at that content creator thing, I was thinking of people that were boxers that box, or they have some type of boxing IQ. And my thing, CB said he's an amateur boxer. He should be talking more. But their thing is, I know how marketing and promoting a product is. They got CB there and they got Jay Shep there, so they can say, we boxed. We were boxers. Keep saying that. Now, my thing is, if I was there and I was a boxer, I would prove that I was a boxer. My information, and if you don't believe me, I can show you my belts, my golden gloves, and everything. I can show you what I got. But they don't really show anything that can help the game progress. They just yes men there. And it's like they didn't have Josh Teller and all these other guys that was there before because they wasn't yes men.
So going back to the whole thing with this, why is the manual blocked? Like, we've had this conversation, but why is it that, what is causing that from happening? Is it this whole, the casuals, it's because it's the baby the game so much, or is it lazy that they don't want to further develop the game? Like, what could it be? Because look, a simple thing like that is causing the game to look stupid.
Yeah, because they see it as being too tedious, I guess. They think it's going to chase certain people away from the game, but that's where options come from. Just like what Mike Adams is saying. I took the sensible option today of turn. Oh, he said he turned off the soundtrack and commentary for Undisputed. No more.
I agree with that the commentary it's
too repetitive, and it doesn't.
It's too repetitive, or it's not. It's almost like they didn't know how to program excitement into it. It doesn't know how to adjust. If something, okay, if a major event happening and you hear the fans are, the fans are going off, the announcers are stuck. It's really but you know what? For the commentary, I'll give them a pass on that, because commentary is not to me, it's not my total concern. Because the reality is I could turn it off too.
Yeah,
and that's what I usually do in a lot of games. I turn off the car. I don't give a shit to hear it anymore.
Yeah, but with commentary, there's no excuse. All they got with the way AI is set up today, it's no excuse. All you got to do is program the AI to go with what it sees on the screen. That's the technology that we have, and they could take certain commentators' voices, and it'll keep everything that's being said can be said. That's how they be saying deep fakes. They saying, oh, that's not a real video. It's a deep fake. But you see guys like Martin Luther King or whoever, the same voice, the same person, everything. That's AI. So the commentary can match up with the gameplay. It can be done. I can put the proof up, but it can be done. It's them. They so far behind.
Well, the thing, like the commentary, they don't, like the commentary doesn't feel organic, because a simple thing like, okay, let's pull from the stats, the fight, let's pull from the match stats right now and try to bring it into the commentary. They haven't done that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a simple one to say how many landed punches, because it could pull the stats all, but they're not thinking that way.
Yeah,
is that something that's okay? And you know what too? If they don't even give you that in Undisputed 2, that shows you.
Yeah, it shows a lot. But games like 2K, talk about your last performances.
Right.
Oh, 3 games ago, he did this and he did that. It's talking about 3 games ago.
Yep.
So it's no excuse. Mike Adams said, ass excuse, we ran out of buttons. That right there, like, yo. See, people like me, I wouldn't have fit there. They would have probably found some, they would have been mad at me.
Mike Adams, that hula hooping bobblehead, it's going back to what I was saying. Because we can't manual block, we have to, that's why people are doing it. That's the only way they can catch that. That's why they're doing it. They're glitching the game out, really. But that's how that it's an inherent flaw. Steel City put an inherent flaw in their own video game by not giving us manual blocking. That's why people are bobbling their head. That's all bad. That's how poorly this game is designed, man.
You know why I think a lot of the things too is happening to this game? Because they probably be working off the same system that they had the original, and they trying to strip it down so much that it's making all these errors in the program.
You know, but they stripped off the manual blocking from the beginning.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean.
So that makes sense, like in a developer sense, because it seems like they are stripping away things so much, and they keep blaming the things that they're stripping away. But I think it's what they initially stripped away. That's where the problem's coming in. Because like they put out these excuses. Oh, we started this game over 3 times. No, you started over when Will came aboard. That's when they started.
So you remember in Truth Bound's video? In Truth Bound video, he was showing how you could change levels now. You could change levels, and then when you change level, you'll throw the punch from that level.
Yeah.
What is it? Why is it that Undisputed, they chose that anytime you throw a punch, it always kind of it has to return back to center point and then execute the punch? Why is it they didn't have that concept in the game?
That's the development. It's no excuse for that. For one, you're doing motion capture. You actually seeing the boxer throw these punches. I'm like, what the heck? Well, for one, the rubber banding effect we all talk about.
Yeah.
That shows that you're not adding animations, because sometimes, you know, especially if you're using a cheap motion capture system, it's not going to see every angle unless you use every angle. So that's where the rubber banding could come from with the and you gotta do a person that can add those animations in. That's not there. But their things, they're doing motion capture and they're going straight to development. No, you gotta go to motion capture, then you gotta do the animations to make sure everything is in place, and then you put it in the game. But they skipping that animations. And I don't even think I've seen like actual animators on the team, like people that like actually do deep set animations or skilled animators on the team. So that right there, like, what are you doing? Maybe the coder saying he could do everything, and they accepting that logic, that mindset. Let me see.
Hey, Mike
Adams, I was about to read it. You go ahead.
Hey, Mike Adams was saying that they don't want manual block because they want arcade dumbed down gameplay. Yes, that's part of it, but the other thing is who's protecting that? A lot of these guys in the crown creators, a lot of those guys in the crown creator leagues, if you ask them, they'll say, "Oh, well, there's no point of having manual blocking if we have desync." That's one of the arguments all the time, and I don't believe it.
And a lot of them don't want it at all. They don't want it
because it'll make the game into chess. It'll bring a next level of strategy to the game. I don't know why they don't want it.
Yeah,
you can't just hold the block and run anymore. You have to actually know what you're blocking now if you want to do that.
Yeah. It's frustrating, man. They listening to too many people. Let's get into some of these topics that you want to start off the topic, but I don't want to take. I did some I added on to what you was talking about with the Muhammad Ali Act, but you could start it.
Okay. So last, I think the last episode we went into that whole topic about the TKO trying to bring their boxing league, right?
Yeah,
But the whole thing is they're trying to get rid of the Ali Act because they want to run it based on how the UFC model is, how the WWE model is, how they make business that way.
yeah,
So one of the things I saw was that I think it was just this over the summer or so, UFC had that antitrust case against them by all the UFC fighters from like what 2010 to 2017, and they won.
yeah.
They won that because UFC, it was proven that UFC was ripping off the fighters. They're giving significantly less money than what they have. They're not giving them any medical, nothing.
And in boxing, a lot of promoters give you medical. That's something that's not talked about. A lot of promoters put that in your contract. A lot of promoters and managers, that's in your contract. It might come out of your money, but they still making sure you have medical. They basically trying to save you from yourself. Some promoters and managers.
But what caused but this whole thing, what caused the MMA to go in that direction?
Because
like
they see the money in it. Even though a lot of people see this the thing, the UFC and MMA fans, they keep saying that boxing is not making that much money. If UFC was the thing that was making all this money and everything, Dana White would not have to step into boxing. He sees the money and what it can be.
No, but what I'm saying is like, how did boxing develop more into basically the boxer is the business owner, will say. He's the, you know what I mean? He's the owner, and he's basically doing all stuff, as opposed to, okay, you're becoming property of this league.
See, you got guys like, let me see, I think Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, not Muhammad Ali. Later on in his life, he tried to grab his career, but he couldn't. It was too late. But his boxers start taking control of their careers, and they was like, I'm not gonna let you be in control of what goes on in my career, or the contract got to give me more say so over what happens in my career. That's what a lot of boxers are trying to do now. Like the way a lot of boxers be talking, they be talking to the promoters like openly, like, yo, I want this fight or that fight. Before, you couldn't say that. But a boxer would say something, but it's still up to the promoter. And they like keep pushing it. And the promoter be like, all right, well, that's what you want. That's because a lot of promoters be trying to so-called save their boxers. But it's about the overall thing is boxers. Some boxers are smart enough to take control. Floyd Mayweather like really pushed the ceiling.
Well, here's the thing though. One thing that's gonna push probably boxers to this TKO league. One thing is that they say that on average they'll pay higher than the median or the average. That's one thing that
when I came in,
when you're just starting off, you'll get a higher pay cut. But the thing is, but if you become popular in boxing, you'll surpass that by far, right? But this is the thing now, how many guys are they gonna catch to build a league like that? And they will catch guys.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good saying it, that's how it's gonna be on paper. It sounds good. You gotta look at what Don King said to get Mike Tyson, what all these promoters said to the boxers to get them. It sounds good on paper, and then it changes. I say, and I think 2 or 3 years in, everything gonna change. Everybody gonna be complaining. Dana White is a greedy businessman. He's greedy.
I'm trying to remember Anderson Silva's contract. He had an interesting contract.
And when did he start really making money? How far deep in his career did he start like literally making money? Did he make money
Well,
when he?
the thing was this: there was a time when Anderson Silva, he was so popular, man. He was a champion, undefeated streak, everything. But the thing is, he couldn't. He wanted to box Roy Jones at one point at the height of his career.
Yeah.
When the height of Anderson's, he wanted to cross over, but he couldn't do it. But the thing is, if he was his own independent guy and he wasn't locked into these UFC contracts, like that, the UFC contract, they had him like I'm trying to see if I can find it, but I think it was like a 12-fight contract, and he had to honor that contract all the way into his late 40s.
Yeah,
when he was all like he was fighting after that. I don't know if you remember when he broke his leg in the ring.
Yeah,
he had to fight. Man, that's one of the most. The
way it broke too.
Yeah, it broke. It snapped, right?
Yep.
And then you have to come back healed from that and still continue your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My thing is, it's just they see the money in boxing, they see it and they trying to grab it, and that thing they trying to change things. And my thing is, if you get an Olympic boxer or a decorated amateur, what are you going to pay him? Because Bob Arum and all of them, when they get decorated amateurs and Olympic fighters, they pay them like they're like major stars, like they're 10-round fighters. And a lot of them Olympic fighters are 4-round fighters, 6-round fighters. So their thing is, I think he's gonna mess up a lot of these boxers' career, because he's gonna try to, like, if you're an Olympic star, if you're a decorated amateur, that we could put you in with a 12-round fighter, a 8-round fighter. No, you did 5 rounds, 6 rounds. That don't add up to no 12 rounds. Even if you train, and your body got to get used to, you got to build up to them 12 rounds. So I'm like, how's that gonna work with them? You see what I'm saying?
How much more control does a boxer have over who he could pick and choose his next opponent?
It depends on the contract, and it depends on the promoter and manager. And Eddie Hearns does, I think, both to some fighters. But are
there boxing contracts that are like that forces the fighter they have to always fight the highest ranked person on the leaderboard, we'll say?
That's what
does it do the matchmaking like that? Like, does anything in boxing I can afford? Because the thing in boxing is, you could always say, I don't want to fight that person, and then take whatever penalty you need to take, kind of thing.
Yeah, I never saw a contract like that or like heard somebody, but there's people that make them contracts with that, you know, the manager or the promoters say that you have to trust them and, you know, take the fights that they give you. And my thing is it's gonna be this gonna be the problems. That's the problems we're gonna hear. That's a lot of the problems we're gonna hear, because Dana White feel like he knows what's best for boxers, and that's not every boxer gonna be beat up and messed up like a lot of MMA fighters. But if you look at boxing, you don't see a lot of boxers with cauliflower ears and stuff like that. So that's the difference. The beating up and all this crazy stuff. And they're not used. I'm pretty sure Dana White gonna try to find a way to make the gloves less padded. He's gonna try to make it
that's one of the things I was thinking too, because in UFC they're using 4-ounce gloves, right? And the thing is, they're gonna try to figure out how to make boxing, probably they want to see more knockdowns.
Yeah.
Like on a more brutality level, they're gonna do something. I figured there's something they're trying to do. So that's all I was wondering too, if this would actually be a boxing league or not. Like, whatever they're doing, if this is gonna be some kind of pride league really they're bringing back.
Yeah, they're gonna like seem like they're gonna dumb it down to not disrespecting bare knuckles. It's gonna be almost bare knuckles with like you're gonna have training gloves on. Not even training gloves, because I had big training gloves. But it's gonna be like mittens, basically. That's what you're gonna end up fighting. All right, let's talk. I want to read this. Why the Muhammad Ali Act? No, why the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act is important. The Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act exists to protect boxers from exploitation in a sport with no single governing body, no player union, and a long history of financial abuse. Boxing is unique amongst major sports because the athletes are independent contractors. That goes basically what you're saying. Negotiation alone against powerful promoters, networks, and sanctioning bodies. The act attempts to correct that imbalance. The only thing that is it that actually is there, we don't really, boxing doesn't have a union. Because if it had a union, certain gaming companies wouldn't have a problem.
You know what's a good example, man? So the whole thing with the Ali Act, it's supposed to bring transparency to the business side, right? Look what happened. Look what happened in wrestling, in the WWE. So when so you have all these guys, all these wrestlers from the 90s and 2000, and they're getting royalties all the time, right?
Yeah.
They're getting royalties from the old DVDs and Blu-rays, whatever media was back then. But then TKO, or that they had the whole merger, and now it's under that W is under that TKO banner now.
Yeah.
I saw a report the other day where the wrestlers are complaining now that they're getting less royalties because how they're reporting the any kind of like t-shirt sales and any kind of merchandise. They're not saying they're not reporting it back. Okay, well, a t-shirt is for $10. The pair of shorts are for $5. The sweater is going to be $50, like that, individual pricing. Therefore, base the thing. Instead, what they're doing is they're just basing off of the usage of the logo.
That's crazy.
So little things like that, and so now the royalties are getting cut in half. So there's going to be a huge class action lawsuit going to come out of that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. If you have an Ali's Act, I don't think you could do that shit.
Yeah.
Or if you have something to protect them.
Yeah, that's why they're trying to get rid of it. They don't want them to be under the scope again. Let me see. At its core, the Ali Act recognized one simple truth: boxers are the product. Without them, there is no boxing business. The law exists to ensure that boxers understand how money flows, who controls their careers, and when conflicts of interest are harming them. Protects boxers from promoter abuse, because the act promoters could lock boxers into long-term restricted contracts. Acts as both promoter and manager, taking multiple cuts. Yeah, I remember when you actually could be a promoter and manager. It's some actually there were in my era of boxing, there was actually some promoters that were still managing the boxers, but I guess they were calling themselves the manager and not really making it evident that there was a promoter. Let me see. High financial protected from promoters hiding financial details tied to purses, fees, and television deals. Now you see why they don't want the Muhammad Ali Act, because they can hide all these things from the boxers, and people agreeing with it, and they don't know what the Muhammad Ali Act is for. They shouldn't be hiding the financial details tied to purses, fees, and television deals. You shouldn't be making deals behind my back off of me. But people are like, oh no, we don't need the Muhammad Ali Act. We're gonna get better fights. That ain't what it's for. The Muhammad Ali Act limits these practices by restricting conflict of interest between promoter and managers. Require financial disclosures tied to events, giving boxers clear legal standing to challenge unfair deals. This matters because most boxers are not stars. They do not have lawyers, leverage, or bargaining power. The law exists primarily for them, not the elite few. See, that's what I was basically talking about with the lower level guys, the guys just coming into boxing. So people like Dana White is gonna try to swindle them.
So here I found it. So in 2014, Anderson Silva had signed a 15 fight deal, 15 fight contract UFC in the year 2014. You know how old he was in 2014?
No.
39.
Wow. Wow.
So that's an example. That's an example of these kind of contracts, right? Because the thing is, going back, I was saying Anderson Silva, he should have been able to fight Roy Jones during that time frame when he wanted to, and he couldn't fight him.
Yeah,
I figured it has to do with that contract.
Yeah, and I kind of see it as Dana White's like, am I going to get money from that? Because that's not the UFC.
Yeah, that's why he couldn't get money from I think Conor McGregor. When Conor McGregor, I think. And also, too, people don't want to talk. Conor McGregor made the most money in his whole friggin' career when he crossed over to boxing, man, and won one fight.
Every boxer that did that, they made the biggest purse they ever made.
Biggest purse, and also too, that probably was top. I think it was top 2 for biggest purses in boxing history as well.
Yeah, it was up there. Let me see. Create transparency in a historical opaque sport. Boxing finances are intentionally complex. Sanctioning fees, step aside money, site fees, promotional expenses, and network payments are often hidden or vaguely explained. The Ali Act requires disclosure of compensation resources, clear accounting of fees related to a bout, written contracts that define who is paid and why. Transparency is not anti-business, it's anti-corrupt. A sport cannot be legitimate if its athletes do not understand how their labor is being monetized. Limited conflict of interest that distorts competition. One of boxing's biggest problems is matchmaking driven by business, protection rather than sport merit. When promoters control rankings, managers, and title paths, the sport becomes manipulated. The Ali Act attempts to separate management from promotion, reduce incentives to freeze out dangerous opponents, prevent promoters from steering boxers away from risky fights purely to protect investments. This benefits fans as well. Competitiveness, integrity leads to better fights, clearer champions, and fewer manufactured records. Preserve boxer and autonomy. Boxing is not a league sport. There is no draft, no collective bargaining agreement, and no guaranteed minimum salary. A boxer career can end in any moment. The Ali Act reinforces a boxer right to negotiate independently. That goes to what you was asking. Protect against coercion, contract extensions, the ability to change promoters after contractual obligations are fulfilled. Without this, boxers effectively become owned assets rather than independent professionals. That basically goes to what you were saying.
Yo, did you see
Go ahead.
Did you see Mike's question?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
It's with regard to Heather Hardy's lawsuit or her whole that whole controversy with her. Basically, I think her promoter She sued the promoters and them.
Oh,
They were taking advantage of her.
Everlast. Even a company in England that is affiliated with Everlast.
But two things too were happening. She was suing them for that, but also too, she was also suing for equality pay. She wanted to sue for equality of pay as well. I don't know how she would prove it, but
Shaolin say Dana White understands the fight game, but has no business in boxing. Yeah, you said the word right. He knows the fight game. Boxing is not fighting. No disrespect to what you're saying, and I agree that Dana White has no business in boxing. I would rather for him to be a bit more of a background than put his name out there, because his name is all it's going to do. He's hoping to attract the MMA fan base to go to a boxing, and a lot of them going to be just like me. I don't care who you put out there from your sport. I'm not going to like it. I'm not an MMA fan. I'm not a UFC fan. I'll probably look at a very popular fighter. I might look at that match. But other than that, I'm not going to sit there and watch no MMA fighting.
Yo, Mike, I got one answer from Mike. I got from the Ring magazine. And the Ring magazine commented on it. It said the claims were factually flawed. Under New York law, a fight is not allowed to proceed unless the promoter has provided the New York State Athletic Commission with written proof of the required insurance coverage. And after the fight, each fighter is given a printout that lists the relevant insurance information. More specifically, after a fight, each fighter is examined by the NYSAC doctor, and then with someone who has worked with the fighter's corner and another representative, such as the fighter's manager, present. The fighter is given a written suspension form. All fighters in New York receive a mandatory 7-day suspension after a fight. So anyway, they commented on it. They said that it's flawed. But one of the things she was saying that they didn't protect her or something. That was one argument. Another one was the equality for pay.
Yeah, but this my biggest argument about women boxing, because they keep saying equality. The only person that's trying to make it equal is Serrano, the Serrano sister. She fighting 3 rounds. She trying to fight 12 rounds. She should get paid the men wage. But all these women fighting 2 rounds, 2-minute rounds. I mean 2-minute rounds and stuff like that. And they fighting 8 rounds, 10 rounds. You're not. It shouldn't be equal pay. I don't care how people feel. It's not right.
But also too, how much of it has to do with how many seats you're gonna, how many people are gonna come out to see you. Actually, like you're you have to bring in the people to buy the tickets. How much of it's really on that?
Yeah,
that's a major factor, man.
That's a major factor.
That's one of the biggest things with the with this whole thing too, with the NBA and the women's and the WNBA. They keep on saying they want the same thing, but the thing is they don't have the audience as NBA.
Hold on, what's the Blaze pound for pound said me BBK are sparring live now. What do you mean by BBK? Is that a league?
Bare knuckle? No, I don't know. BBK, it's not the
Tell me what BBK is, Blaze.
Or BBK is a fighter. I don't
know. They probably be sparring in Undisputed or something. If that's what you're talking about, you basically said what you doing. What Ash said. Fight the way the game is
supposed to be played.
Play the way the game's supposed to be played. No, but post it. I'm gonna finish reading this. Common debates and clear answers. The Ali Act hurts promoters and slows big fights. This argument assumes that promoters should operate without oversight. Every major sport has labor protection and transparency rules. Boxing is the outlier. Big fights are delayed because of competing promotional interests. Network exclusivity. Boxing politics, not boxer protections. The Ali Act does not stop fights. It stops exploitative practices. Boxers agree to these contracts, so it's their fault. Consent without equal power is not true consent. Many boxers come from poverty, have limited legal knowledge, or are pressured to sign early to survive financially. That's true. I see that a lot.
Oh,
The
yo,
law,
I know. I know what it is now. It's a promotion. That's Blaze Pound for Pounds promotion. BBK,
oh, okay.
Baby King Promotions.
Oh,
They do some. They do some live. They do some live YouTube. I think they do tournaments as well.
oh, okay. I'll check it out later. After the show. The law, the law insists may exist because the market is not fair or balanced. Saying they signed it ignores reality. The free market should decide, not regulation. Boxers have never been a free market. Rankings, titles, and opportunities are controlled by a small group of power brokers. The Ali Act does not eliminate competition. It ensures that competition is not rigged against the athlete. Other sports don't need this law. Other sports have player unions, revenue sharing, minimum salaries, pension systems, collective bargaining agreements. Boxing has none of these. The Ali Act is a partial substitution, not an overreach. Elite boxers don't need it. Even if there were true laws or not written only for elites, most boxers never headline a major card, pay out large percentages in fees, leave the sport with injuries and little money. That's why I see a lot of they leave the sport with injuries and little money, little to none. Boxers could be don't have like 40 or 50 fights in their whole career and they're broke. And half of the time it's not because of them the way they spending their money. It's because when they get their little checks, they pay rent, they gotta eat, they probably got a wife, they probably had children, and that's not supporting them. And a lot of them don't have jobs and box. Elite fighters can't have jobs and box. A sport should be judged by how it treats its most valuable participants, not its superstars. While the Ali Act still matters today, modern boxing is more commercialized, not less. It wasn't commercialized back in the days, so that means there's more money to be made in boxing. Streaming deals, influencer boxing, Saudi-backed events, and cross-promotional politics that increase the money involved, but not the protections. Without enforcing and expanding of the Ali Act, power becomes more centralized. Boxers lose leverage. The sports become less competitive and less credible. The Ali Act is not anti-boxing business. It is pro-boxer and pro-integrity. A healthy boxing ecosystem requires transparency, autonomy, and fairness. When there, when those disappear, the sports suffer, fans suffer, and boxers pay the highest price. If you want, you could do the research yourself. You know, I might post this on my blog.
Yo, Poe, let me ask you this. Going back to this Heather Hardy.
Uh-huh.
So part of her thing is that she's saying that that she based on her condition, it made it clear that she could not possibly have been medically fit to fight 2 years ago. So then how is it possible that she was able to fight? But if that's the case, then if she herself know that she's too injured to fight? Like, isn't it a business at the, you know what I mean? It's a business thing. Like, it's like you're saying it after the fact, but you wanted to fight.
Yeah. That's how they're gonna try to win that. But the thing is, when you have them contracts, Remember what you were saying about Anderson Silva and stuff? So she had the
Yeah, but this is the
contract.
thing, there's nothing here saying that she was coerced the fight, saying, okay, if you didn't make this fight, this I haven't seen anything in the case here that, you know what I mean?
Well,
Her the whole thing she's going on is that how is it possible that her as a human specimen is making it through all the tests? That's what she's trying to say.
yeah, but she's proving a point that with in boxing, you got people that will push you through without, you could be in the worst conditions ever. I've seen boxers like that. Actually, I went through that because, it was people, they were injured and they still pushed them through. We don't know what they paying the medical doctor that's examining you. Some special, because they had a special, where I live at, it's a special doctor that a lot of boxers use. And he used to talk to me. I don't know why everybody feel like they got to tell me everything, tell me all their business. And he was telling me how Ray Mercer, certain people, like they had an eye, something was wrong with their retina and stuff, and they shouldn't have been fighting or something, certain things. And I'm like, daggone. Like I had a tear in my shoulder, which I end up messing up. And instead of them saying, you're not right to fight, you got a tear, a little tear. But the tear end up messing up my shoulder. I had a full-blown operation. And then they tried to get me to fight before my shoulder was fully healed. So I had to get a doctor outside of the one that he was, pushing me towards. So we don't know how all that is.
So would you say then that's one, I guess, I don't know if I want to say flaw, but a flaw with the way the Ali Act, how it's executed then? Like just based on your own experience.
No, that's a workaround with the how they try to outsmart the system. Anything they try to outsmart it. So they get, because my Amin Ali Act don't like actually say what doctors you could pick or whatever. It's basically I guess you just get the doctor.
So here's the thing. So when we look at UFC, then they have a more centralized system. That's the thing I don't know.
I don't know too much about the UFC, but it seemed like the way it's set up,
they have their company doctors or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah, everything is under Dana White. Dana White could pick anything that he want, and that's why they want the whole one governing body and stuff like that. The one governing body don't really benefits boxing as a whole. It sounds good on paper that, hey, we just got one belt. But then you got thousands, no, I'm going to say hundreds. I ain't going to say thousands. But in the amateur, there are thousands of people in the amateur that's boxing. But I say hundreds of pros in the pro rankings. So one belt a belt is not going to benefit boxing. A lot of boxers going to be waiting decades just to get a title shot. Even if he's, let's say he's 15-0. If he don't got great promotion, it don't mean nothing.
And in the TKO and this TKO boxing league they're gonna come out with, what would you say might be the let's just say the average lifespan of the boxer?
It's not gonna be long at all. I say about 3 to 4 years.
And then that's they're done, because it's just gonna keep on
because they're gonna keep giving them, because even with in boxing, I like the way that you build your career up some. At least the first, I say 6, 7, 8 fights, 10 fights. Let's say 10 fights. You fought people like close to your amount of fights that you had. Like say you have 4 or 5 fights. All right, you can fight somebody that has 10 fights, 12 fights. You should start building up from there. But if you find somebody that's 50 and 10, they got 50 losses and 10 wins. I mean, let's say you fight somebody 10 and 50. They got 10 wins and 50 losses. They got 60 fights under their belt. Somebody that's like you like 1-0, and you find somebody like that, that's crazy, because that person has the experience over you. Because there are boxers out there, and I'm like, why is he still fighting? You lost 10 fights. I mean, you lost 50 fights and you got 10 wins. Why are you still fighting? But we know why they're still fighting. They're not getting paid. They're not, the money is not there for them to quit.
Yo, did you see things question there?
Let me see.
What's his Mike's asking about no, not Mike, Shaolin phrase. The whole Bud Crawford getting title stripped.
Well, he said, what do y'all think about Bud getting stripped of his title?
It was a sanctioning fee thing.
I think Bud is right for what he's saying, but it got a lot to do with, I think, because he with TKO boxing and stuff, I think he's like kind of leaning towards them for his last couple of fights. But Bud knew he'd been paying for his belt all the. Don't start complaining now. You've been doing it for the longest. When did it become a problem? When you start being friends with certain people. Because my thing is, you've been paying for how many belts Bud got, which he actually owned. That's why I be telling people, yeah, he stripped on paper from the belt, but he still owns that title. He paid for it. When you pay, if you look at Mike Tyson, he got all his belts that he paid for.
So the sanctioning, it was for $300,000, 6% of the $50 million purse.
Yeah. Bud gave one of his friends that he ain't seen in decades. He gave him, I think, about $5,000. So you just technically gave away money, and you're scared to give away money for the belt, which you know.
Oh no! For. Yeah, but here's the other way to look at it. Was he gonna keep on fighting in the middleweight division?
That's another. Well, he should have just said, "I'm not fighting." He should have made that.
No, it's better business. Why even say it then? Just you're not going to defend it. Yeah, why should I pay for that fee? You know what I mean? And then nobody gonna say, "Oh, well, you duck this guy, duck that." I say, no, it's like I didn't want to pay for it, and just go back to welterweight. Maybe that's part of it too, man. Simple as that.
I hope that's what it is, but he should have made that.
That's what it looks like to me. Like to me, it feels like that because after that, when they did right after he won the fight and they did the post fight, I don't remember him calling out anybody else to step up. Now that he's the champ, I heard nothing. If they did, that means they had a fight planned already. Who was going to be the next one? But to me, it's like I think that was just a one-off. We're going to see if he came up. That was the big money fight.
Yeah, but my thing is, I don't they crooks, but they're not crooks. What is that belt made of? Some of them, don't that belt has gold on it and stuff? Actual gold. Some of that stuff on the belt. So you literally paying for the belt. You can just say, "Hey, I don't want the belt." I'm trying to play like both sides of the fence. Like if I'm making this so-called beautiful belt. And I'm using it as a symbol. How much do you think the belt is worth?
The belt? Maybe 10 grand at most. I can't see it being more than 10 grand.
Yeah, true. But I'm trying to make sense out of why is it something that's been going on for decades? Now people like trying to talk out about it. Like Shakur Stevens ain't talking about it. None of these boxers talking about it. Now Bud all of a sudden, like he's on the tail end of his career. Now it's becoming a conversation. Even though this conversation.
So what was the end result? Like seeing that he didn't pay that sanctioning fee. He gets stripped of the status then.
Yeah, he gets stripped of, his status. But he actually they're not taking no belt from him. Hold up, if he's if he's not paying for the belt, he's not getting that belt. He ain't getting that.
It's just the belt. So it's just the hardware then. But in terms of the ranks, where would he be? Where would he be at the WBC? Would he still be the WBC champion?
Yeah, on technically he has to stay there unless if they like feel disgruntled and they say, well, he's gonna be
Or
part two, I
or,
mean,
or they might swap him to what do you call it, a champion Emeritus.
oh yeah.
And then when they're ready to play, okay, we'll pay the fee, and then okay, then they're gonna and then they'll have the what do you call it, unification fight after.
Yeah. I
But
don't
here's the
know.
thing now. Here's the thing. So that happened on a WBC level. Can that happen in UFC based on their structure?
I doubt it.
Can't happen. It can't
For
happen.
one, it's just one belt too. So I don't but
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. But I don't know with Dana White because he about money. Everything's about money. He might adopt that thing about you got to pay for this belt. Let me see. Heather Mike Adams said Heather Hardy would be fighting now if she didn't have brain damage. She's walking into doors and stuff. CTE is off the charts, poor lady. Yeah. Yup. But then Heather Hardy fight MMA too. Oh, I'm talking about another different. I thought she fought MMA too
Let's see.
before she boxed.
It's 23-3. Serrano beat her back in August.
But that's
She lost
crazy.
twice to Serrano.
Yeah, that's crazy. 3 fights and you messed up like that. I mean, 3 losses. So that means them other fights, she was getting banged on before she, lost. I mean, before she won. Zach, that's what I was thinking. Thanks for showing up, round 1. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that's showing up today. Yeah, I knew she had a MMA background, and it's kind of hard for you to. That's why I say with MMA fighters when they go into boxing, it's kind of hard for them to get out of their habits. And this is something my brother told me years ago. And he was a martial artist before he became a boxer. Um, when you've been doing art one art for years, it's hard for you to break certain habits. Even though you training, you training like say you train like 5 months at another art, those habits gonna still be underlying. Like in martial arts, you could change your foot, but you're not efficient in boxing and changing your foot placement, switching stances and stuff, or you using your backhand and stuff like that. Mike Tyson was the only boxer, but what saved Mike Tyson was that Mike Tyson was strong. He'd step, he'd throw a right hand and step with the punch in the front of him. I was like, what type of junk is that? I used to look at my trainer and say, yo, you told me that ain't. He said, I wish you would try to do that. That was funny to me. Let me see. Round 1 said she won her first MMA fight, and she was still an undefeated champ. But her second fight in Bellator, she got KO'd by a head kick. Wow. The belt could be worth about 10 to 20 grand. He's still considered the champ because he has the Ring Magazine belt. That's true. Ring Magazine belt gone even with what's called them. When this TKO league, I think the Ring Magazine belt is going to be for both this boxing and the TKO. So they're 2 leagues. They're basically going to be 2 leagues. Dana White gonna have his thing going on, and boxing gonna have their thing going on. Hold up, do y'all notice something that we don't talk about? do these these MMA fighters have promoters?
No, I don't think so.
So
They they probably have agents, sports agents and stuff.
yeah, but I never heard. So that's gonna knock the promoter out of the situation, the manager out of it, because I don't hear. They might have managers because everybody gets a manager when they get some type of status, but I don't know. Shaolin said the belt could be worth 10 to 20 grand. You're right. You're right. Because I remember when Shannon Briggs, he used to talk about the money. His promoters put the money. No, his manager put up the money. So he got to pay that money back to his promoter after he wins his fight. That's why a lot of these fighters, that's why I be telling people when they fight, and you be like, why do he want so much money? That's ridiculous. If he paid for that belt, how much money he's gonna have left for himself? These are things people don't know about. They like he's not worth this much money and stuff. When he's fighting for a championship belt and stuff, you gotta put into the mix how much they're paying for that belt, the sanctioning fees and stuff like that. That's what you gotta look at.
Yo, so here I found it now. He's since December the 4th, it's vacant now. That one, the super middleweight at 168, vacant. Number one rank is Alvarez. So he loses everything. Yeah, he's delisted.
But don't that seem intentional? Why is Alvarez
what?
the number
Well,
one? Even if he vacated it, he still should be the number one. He don't have a title. He should be the number one.
Well, here's the thing. What I wonder too is what do you call it? I wonder if Crawford would have said, "Okay, I'm going to retire," after he won that fight, and said, "Okay, I'm retiring," would that trigger something? Okay, now we're going to put you that whole stuff. Okay, when that's something Floyd Mayweather used to do. He would retire right away, and then he would get champion emeritus status, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something they could have did.
Yeah, he could have did that, and they wouldn't have said anything. But it seemed like they were mad that he beat Alvarez. It seemed weird that something like this would like actually be a thing, a conversation. Let me see. Holly Holmes fights the same way she does in boxing. How she do it in MMA, she moves and keep her distance before going to the inside.
Yeah, Holly Holm is smart, man. Look at her. How many fights was it when she fought? What's her name? The judo girl. And she knocked her out. She was the first person to beat her and knocked her out clean.
Dad, I know what you're talking about, but I forget because that's not.
She's blonde. Blonde. She was the silver medalist in the Olympic Games. Rousey, Wanda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey was she couldn't like transition.
She tried to box the boxer, man. Yeah. A champion boxer, and on top of that,
that right there shows you if an MMA fighter, their technique for a stand up, if they like train in boxing, because like I keep telling people, and they could argue with somebody else. If you're boxing and striking are two different things. I know. My brother was a martial artist. He says it all the time. He said the way you throw punches in certain martial arts are very different from the way you throw punches in boxing. And people, oh no, it's the thing striking, and that's why I say it's not. When you're talking about boxing, stop calling it strikes. It's not the same thing. The way a person throw a punch is totally different. Now, if you trained in boxing, that's a difference. Like kickboxing and stuff like that. It's a total. Even kickboxing, that's different. It's kind of different.
I don't think too in the history of boxing versus UFC. I don't think there's ever been a UFC or even a Pride fighter that was able to jump over to boxing and make a major impact, like a legitimate impact that they could just cross over and then okay, I'm gonna fight the number one contender. I'm gonna get a title shot. It's never been done.
But you know who they're gonna say? Serrano, because she did both sports. That's who they're gonna try to use. Amanda Serrano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, from the women's division, that's fine.
Yeah, but as far as men, I didn't see nobody that like really made that impact.
They'll
Nobody.
try to convince you. In what's his name? Inagu? What's his name from UFC? The one who had stunned. He knocked down Fury.
Oh,
Francis Ngannou. What's his name?
Yeah, yeah. I knew. I don't think he can like handle any of the top heavyweights. That's why he should have eased into boxing a little bit. And with Mike Tyson, that's the thing about with Mike Tyson. He's not doesn't have the ability to train somebody like Francis Ngannou because for one, Tyson is a short fighter. His style is made for somebody compact and short like him. It was specifically made for him. Even though you would say, well, Floyd Patterson did the style. He did some of the things that Mike Tyson did, but the way Mike Tyson fought was fitted for his stature and for somebody his height.
You think Gervonta Davis would have trained nice with Tyson?
No.
You don't think so?
No, he's too long and lean. He's too. It don't make. Even though he got punching power, it would have worked. It would have worked better if he fought more on the outside. Because if Deontay Wilder's tools, he wouldn't have survived.
No. I said Gervonta Davis, not Wilder. Davis.
Yeah. I think he would have worked. It did pretty good. But Gervonta Davis can box. And then you could say in earlier fights, Tyson could box too. Because I've seen him hit people with 2 and 3 jabs. I seen him, lead off with the jab. Everybody think everything Tyson did was power shots. Yeah, y'all really gonna bring MMA and UFC into the conversation for the longest. I just wanted to make some tweets. Let me see. Hold up. Ken Nisi said, could Crawford fight Fundora? I think that's a bad matchup for Crawford. At this age and right now, it could be a bad matchup. I don't know. Because Fundora, that's going to be a hard fight for a lot of people because he's real effective and he beat some people that he shouldn't have beat, to me. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, I think Fundora, he don't bit off more than he could chew.
But what do you think is going to be the biggest? Is it the height and the reach that you're concerned with?
But I think with the brothers, the twin brothers, they can what is Jamel?
Charlo?
Yeah, Charlo. I think the more skilled brother could beat them. Everyone got managers, including boxers, MMA fighters, etc. Yeah. But they don't have promoters. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I said they more than likely they got managers. Because I remember when I was boxing, the guy that I was dealing with at that time, he had I'm talking about the second. I actually did a double contract behind my manager back. And then when I found out it was illegal, I had to sit out. I really had to sit out my contract because the second guy, his name is Izzy Sterling. He owned a boxing brand in New York. He has a store in New York. I'm pretty sure by now he's not alive. So his son probably owned the business. And he had a boxing brand like far as like boxing gear and stuff. And he had boxers and MMA fighters. And my thing, like when I was like trying to sit out my contract. I was sparring. That's how I was like making some money because I set up my contract. Let me see. I remember James Tony went to UFC for one fight. Nah, you said one fight. James Tony fought, I think, two or three fights. He beat the brakes off of somebody in the UFC. It wasn't one fight. he beat the brakes off this dude. I remember Shannon Briggs fought somebody that was doing do you consider that MMA that he was fighting in? He was fighting somebody kicking and all that. It wasn't in the cage, but it was in a ring. So I kind of say
So according to UFC, they have him as he's 0-1. They have him listed as only one fight. But look at the guy they put him against, Randy Couture.
Yeah,
Randy Couture's a celebrated a champion, man. Like we're talking about like top fighter at the time.
Yeah. And he knew he had to pull him to the ground. Any fighter that fights an MMA fighter, they're gonna lose if you pull them to the ground. That's not what we're taught in. Well, not me. I grew up in martial arts. Do I think I would have did it if I was still boxing and that was like the tail end of my career? No. Holly Holmes humbled Ronda Rousey. That was a beautiful moment. James Tony lost to Randy Couture, but I think Ray Murphy. Oh, that's probably where I'm getting the mix. I don't know why the heck I keep mixing it up. Yeah, Ray Murphy the fighter. But also, he lost to Kimball. Yeah. Yep. And he lost to Kimball Slice because Kimball Slice brought him down to the ground. And that's crazy. Kimball's he's not really an MMA guy. Even though he fought in the streets, he's not like the ground and pound type of guy. Actually,
he came from the like those backyard, backyard boxing leagues kind of thing, that kind of stuff. And he made it out from it, man, because that was like popular at one point.
Yeah.
But yo, Holly Holmes humbled Wanda, but man, when Amanda Nunes got a hold of Rousey, she just messed her whole career. That's it. She retired her.
Yeah. Mike Adams asked me, he said, do you know what happened to Shannon's negotiation to fight David Haye in 2016? That would have been a fun fight. No, I don't know what happened to it. I remember Shannon was trolling everybody. I think he the king of trolling in boxing to this day. Let me see.
Kimball said if Kimball Slice was around from the bare knuckle league, he would have made plenty of money on that, man.
I think he would have still been trying to fight.
He would have made lots of money, man.
Yup. That's crazy. They made that after he passed. But imagine if they had that back when he was like on his man, he'd have been the king of it. He would fit fine and bare knuckle fighting. Rest in peace, Kimmel. Yeah, he would have. I think he would have did great in it.
You would have made more money too. Remember in the early days of UFC, there was Tank. What's his name? Tank Abbott.
Oh yeah.
He would have been a good fit for that too, man. I think he might have appeared in it, man, but he would be too old now.
Yeah, did he? I think he fought in the early iterations of bare knuckle boxing.
You see.
Yeah, I think he did. That probably how he ended off his career. What you think?
After MMA, he went wrestling.
Oh, he went to wrestling? I don't remember.
He became wrestler after.
I remember them.
He never circled back. Actually, no, he returned to the ring one last time, August 15, 2008, for Inoki Jinan Federation Tokyo, Japan, losing to UFC fighter Josh Barnett. So that's the last time he ever
Oh
fought.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, he would have been
I wonder how I wonder how what's called, I forget his name, the big joker, Sat. I wonder how Sat would have did in bare knuckle boxing of the day. To me, he don't got no heart. He doesn't have heart. It's like he like once his stamina and stuff leave, that joker start he gives up. For him to be that big and you're that much of, he be throwing wild punches and everything. I'm like, who trained him? For him to be that big, he just be trying to bully you and clinching. Oh man.
You
Yo,
saw when
I was like,
but you're saying what you're saying. Sapshot also fought bare knuckle, as well.
yeah, he had a better chance. I think he would have a better chance in bare knuckles.
Bobby
I'm looking at a
Lashley beat
picture of
him.
Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury looks small. Look like he took a lot of weight off. Bouncing around in the ring. But my thing is, I'm always going to say them two fights with Deontay Wilder took a lot out of both of them. Just like with Tyson, when he fought Razor Ruddock 2 times, it took a lot out of both of them.
I think Dustin Poirier would make a decent box. I don't think there's anybody in UFC right now that could just be crossover. Like it's like it's like there's no Bo Jackson right now in fighting that could do both. It's never happened yet.
Yeah, it's always going to be that.
Actually, Holly Holmes. Holly Holmes did it really, but the thing is, it's always in the women's division. It's never in the male category.
Yeah, I don't think that's why a lot of these boxers, they like, should I go? And that's why they invite you first. They say, well, do my sport first, because they know they're not going to survive the boxing. Because like I keep saying, what you trained in for years, that's going to always be in the back of your mind. When you change trainers, what you learn from that first trainer is always going to be in the back of your mind. It's muscle memory. People don't realize that.
Everyone's saying like, Dustin Poirier. Why? I don't understand why him.
How do he win his fights? Do he ground and pound? Ground and pound does not translate to boxing.
He's been an MMA guy his whole career.
So that's all he knows.
Like I don't see how they're saying he's gonna do it.
Anytime
he has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, that's
he has no I don't know.
Like I'm gonna give y'all an example. How when you try to transition over to something or a different style, how you lose fights. Prince Nassim Hamed, when he went over to Emmanuel Stewart tried to change his style. That's not how he was winning. Prince Nassim was beating people being unorthodox. When you try to make him orthodox, that's what killed his career. Now, when you get into boxing, even my brother said it. He said it took him years before because he knew better. He had to make sure that that's all his mind, the muscle memory and everything was boxing. I think it took him 2 years before he had his first fight because all he knew was martial arts. He was a Kung Fu artist. He used to teach Kung Fu. Now, it helped him in boxing, but he knew that once you transfer it over to another art, that muscle memory is going to make you do certain things. You're going to start thinking, Dad, I should kick this joker. I should a back kick him. Or I can't grab him. I can't clinch him and put him to the ground. You're going to be thinking about them things.
Yo, Blaze is saying he didn't say anyone he could beat anyone ranked to 15, but you're saying he could beat a Ken. I don't think he could beat any lower ranked guys. I don't think he could beat let's just say bottom 200, bottom 300, bottom 4. I don't think he could beat none. Because you know why? There's nobody doing it right now. I've never seen. There's nobody doing it.
And that's
unless it's those UFC contracts are so ironclad they can't do nothing. You know, they're stuck.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing.
He might be able to beat a Ken. I actually seen somebody that fought. I can't remember who it was. A MMA fighter or something that fought somebody that wasn't ranked or a major fighter. He was used to get beat, and they got beat. So I don't know. Probably today because boxers kind of lazy now. He could be the Ken. No way I could say that Dustin defeats anyone ranked to 15. Clarissa Shields won an MMA match. Good point, AJ Patch. Yeah, she won an MMA match, but it wasn't against a top fighter. The stand-up game, she beat the person more so with the boxing skills,
which is the right thing to do. She's building herself up. But the thing is,
then try to bring her to the ground or beat her on the ground.
But the thing is, I'm not seeing any MMA fighters. Well, again, I don't know these
men.
Like, you're not seeing them cross over to do it.
Yeah, the men. You're not really seeing the men except for Francis Ngannou, but you're not seeing the men like really like, hey, let me fight, a boxing match.
And then Ngannou too. That was just he knew it was just a money fight. It should be a money fight, right? But it was not like he's like, my goal is I want to go into boxing now. And I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work it. I'm gonna work my way there, kind of thing. No one's gonna do it.
Yeah. Mike Adams said, "Will Wilder win a single round against Usyk?" I think not. That's just the point, though. It was fights that Wilder didn't win any rounds.
But but remember, Wilder's not fighting anybody. He's not fighting somebody 270 pounds this time.
Yeah, exactly. So speed against speed. He ain't got to worry about nobody clinching and holding him down. Wilder is a small heavyweight. That kind of equals it out. But he's a small heavyweight with a punch. Yeah, Usyk had over 200 amateur fights. But that was with headgear and bigger gloves.
Maybe Usyk can. No, Usyk, Wilder's gonna be. If Wilder catches him, he might flatline him.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's
people, they're not looking at it for what it is. If you watch some of Wilder fights, the way he's fighting now, because Wilder in the beginning when Mark Breland had him, he was boxing, flatlining people. But all Wilder need is that one punch.
But the thing is, too, where's Wilder here? When he lost those fights, the weight difference was amazing. He was getting our weight almost 40 pounds plus. When he fought Zhilei Zhang, Wilder came in at 214. Zhilei Zhang, 282. That's crazy. When he lost to Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury was 277, 273. When they had the draw, Tyson was at 256.
Yeah.
So but Usyk's not going to go up to those high weights. Usyk's going to come down.
Yep. I think, and people are not looking at, Fury is damaged goods. We got to see how he holds up to his next fight. But I think Usyk is damaged goods.
He's damaged. Usyk, you said? Who's damaged goods?
Not Usyk. I think Fury is damaged goods. I think Wilder is damaged goods. Even though, and like I keep saying, he got up there some type of way. Yeah, he had the equalizer, but still, power don't equals wins at all. Good example. Mike Tyson was very powerful. I know people that actually sparred them. It was people, there's paying people $100 and $200 a round just to spar Tyson. And I was like, let me get in on some of that.
You know what's interesting? When Usyk fought Fury the first time, Fury was 262 pounds. Usyk was 223. Second time they fought, Fury was 281.
Yeah.
And Usyk was 226.
Yeah. I think Wilder got to punch his chance. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause Fury punching Usyk and Wilder punching Usyk is two different things. And you see how Fury had to beat Wilder. He had to lean on him, grab him, hold him, and stuff. People don't. That's why I keep saying when people say, "Man, I don't want clinching in a boxing game. Clinching don't make no sense because you don't know what it's for." That's why you would never make a great trainer. If I was training people like people want me to do, which I'm not, I don't know right now. But if I had a heavyweight and he's fighting somebody smaller than him, I'd be telling him to throw the punches. But when y'all get close in, clench him, lean on him, use your weight. That's a smart fight. But you up there trying to get him punch for punch and he's smaller than you, he's going to out-punch you every time. Darren Till is doing okay in boxing and gimmick fights. He actually bodied, see, you saying names I don't even know. Luke, Rockhold, I don't know these guys. Them gimmick fights, it's easy to look good. Only person that looks good in those gimmick fights, I forget his name. I hate that I forget his name. He be doing the YouTube content. The black bug eye fighter. I mean, YouTuber. And they be doing the food reviews and stuff. And they be making all them crazy noise that be making me mad and jump because it's like he buck dancing. Boxing and MMA are so different. It is. And I respectfully be trying to tell people, stop trying to compare them. Stop trying to find a way. They're two different arts, two different things. Let them be what they are. Stop comparing them. Yeah, you got to stop comparing them. Let me see. Yeah, but everybody thought the influencer stuff was gonna blow up. I knew it wasn't gonna blow up. But they have to start fighting boxers. All they fighting is YouTubers. And my thing is, I want to get in on the action. I'm old. Showbiz said he old. Why can't Poe and Showbiz do a thing? That's not gonna happen. And to me,
where all this really came from? It came from, I think it came from the whole celebrity boxing league.
Yeah,
remember they were doing celebrity boxing. When did that first celebrity boxing like really first appear? Because that's what, if that never happened, then you won't have Jake Paul and all this stuff right now.
What exactly? That was it when Shaquille O'Neal he sparred Oscar De La Hoya and stuff like that. At least Shaquille O'Neal was messing with a real boxer, even though it's kind of was sparring like. That was crazy. Why Shaquille O'Neal pick Oscar De La Hoya in that celebrity boxing match? That's crazy.
Official celebrity boxing. I wonder if that's the name of the league.
We trying to see when did it like they really started?
Well, something like a official kind of thing. I can't, but there's a website for it too. Official celebrity boxing. Yeah, they have lots of fights, man.
Yeah, because I think I friended the celebrity boxing circuit on my Twitter account. They be having some fights that I didn't even know happened. Cause they be having the guys from LA and stuff, they be doing the boxing matches and stuff. Like when what's his name? The rap star, because I don't keep up with modern day rappers.
But Mosley's in this league too. I didn't even know. He fought back in September.
Oh, I
He's like
forgot
the
about
light.
that.
He's the light heavyweight world champion too. He fought this guy named Bob Colfroth. I don't know who Bob Colfroth is.
I don't know. Probably a celebrity. Yeah, but to me that's they're what you call it, retirement packages.
That's what it looks like. At one point, they called X Rumble roster. They had Roy Jones, Ric Flair, Shane Mosley, Lamar Odom, Ice T, Liddell, Riddick Bowe, Buster Douglas. How the hell Buster Douglas there? I know.
Yeah, they had what's called Razor Rutherford in that. Razor Rutherford, Anthony. I mean, who he fought? James Toney in that.
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, so I want to talk more about this ratings. I want to talk a little bit about that because I wanted to dig deep on it.
Which ratings?
I'm talking about in general. You know, what we're talking about, two boxers don't that because they have the same numbers don't mean that they're equal. And I have a breakdown right here. Before I was just saying off the top of my head, but I had a breakdown I had pulled together. Let me see. The kind of ignorance does not come from one single group. It comes from a collision of fan bases and from how sports games have trained people to think over the last 20 years, 20 plus years. Which fan base is ignorant of this? The casual sports gamers, the largest group. This is the primary source. They have been conditioned by Madden, FIFA, 2K style overall ratings, linear stat bars, higher numbers equal better player logic. To this group, 228 rated fighters are assumed to be interchangeable. Difference are expected to be cosmetic, animation flavor, or minor stat tweaks. Anything deeper is viewed as over designed because they have never been shown otherwise. This is not stupidity, it is learned expectations. Casual boxing fans who do not study styles, they watch fights but do not break them down. They know names and highlights, knockouts, famous moments, win and loss records. They do not think in terms of foot positions, punch sequences, different reactions, ring genealogy tendencies, energy management styles. So when they see two boxers with the same ratings, they assume the same effectiveness because they are not used to used to thinking in systems. Crossover MMA and general combat sports gamers. This group often bring assumptions from UFC games, arcade fighting games, rock, paper, scissors, balance logic. They expect ratings to be fairness equalizers, styles difference to be shallow. Skill expression to come mostly from player input, not AI behavior. They often push back the hardest against deep boxer identity systems because it threatens their idea of balance. Exactly. Stat sheets. Fans small but loud. These fans obsess over ratings, argue online about numbers, watch fighters ranked cleanly. They dislike under the hood complexity because it cannot be easily debated with screenshots. It cannot be reduced to a single tier number or tier list. It removes the illusion of objective ratings. This group drives a lot of forum discourse. And even though they are not the majority of players, which fan base is least ignorant, hardcore boxing students, they already understand that two fighters can win the same amount and fight completely different. Effectiveness is contextual. Styles matchups matter more than raw ability. The problem is that this group is rarely concerned in boxing, centered in boxing game marketing. How does the developer educate them? Marketing, advertising, and promoting is the answer, but it must be done intentionally and repeatedly. Stop selling ratings, start selling identities. Never market fighter as 88 overall, top tier, balance. Instead, pressure-based volume fighter with delayed head movement reactions. Counter first boxer who sacrifices output for ring control. Explosive fighter with stamina variability. Ratings should exist, but never be the headline. I'm gonna stop at that. Y'all can catch this on my blog. But what do you think about that? I know we keep talking about it, but I wanted to let the people that just came in kind of get a whiff of what we was talking about earlier.
Well, what brought up the whole topic of the ratings? Does it have to do with the when Steel City said they wanted to move away from a rating system, do more like the UFC style?
The tier, yeah, the tier list,
tier system.
Yeah, that like infuriated me a little bit, just a little bit. But I'm like, come on, man, this is boxing. Stop bringing in, because that to me that's an arcade system. Like it works for boxing, it works for combat sports. The tier system, it works for arcade games.
But the thing is that is the tier system. Is there still something underneath the tier system to build a tier?
Great question. It's just gonna keep adding on tiers. I think it's like a kind of a wasted thought pattern. And when you like, if they implement this in a boxing game, like imagine you going to a career mode or whatever you're going to, how you're going. If they have options like, hey, we want this for the online, or we want this for the esports. All right, that's what y'all gonna do. All right, have it, but don't force every fan to, accept this thing, because even when you read a magazine, they have like certain tiers. I mean, not tier system, but certain ratings for certain boxers. Because I could go right now and look on Google, and I could say Google, or I could ask Chat GT, give me a rating of boxers. It's gonna give me a list, a comparison of each boxer. It's gonna say Muhammad Ali was this fast and Mike Tyson was this fast. It's gonna have a rating system. It's gonna have numbers, how fast they were compared
So
to each other.
So I don't know if you mentioned this, but one thought that came to my head, it's a way to control the narrative.
It
And when I
is.
say narrative, is to show that, like for example, if you have two let's say you have two boxers in the game and they're both 90, but one of the 90s is overperforming than the other 90. Why is that? Oh well, the reason why is because the game because of the balancing of the game. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if you
Yeah.
get rid of ratings in general, therefore, and it's if you get rid of the actual number rating and just go with these tiers, but then that gives them more control now of the narrative of how much balancing you need in the game now, because
Yeah.
you can't really point the finger. Why is 190 performing better than the next one?
Yeah. That makes sense for the casual thinking. Yeah. That does makes kind of sense, but it's just going to be another debate when if they do something like that. And a lot of the fighting fans, like the boxing fans, the sports gaming fans are going to it's going to be a big backlash on it. So they better have them ratings in the chamber to to hash them out. And my thing is why they can't give both. All right, online, that's what we're gonna do. That's how they should do it. Is it time consuming? That's a thing. But to me, Steel City got too much extra time on their hand doing nothing. They're not doing
It's a
animation.
it is a waste of time, even just to go like there's no. It's not gonna by going to that system. It's not gonna solve the problems they're having now, kind of thing, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
It can't,
They got the time. It's because they're not really doing anything else to improve this game. All they doing is doing quick fixes. No animations, nothing. They added animation to DLC. It's gonna be another
yeah.
problem. Let's see. Mr. Magoo got hard. Wilder 10th drop link UK. I don't understand what you're saying. Mr. Magoo got hard. I'm I don't understand what you're saying. Wilder 10th drop link UK.
Maybe he's fighting on the 10th. And Jan, let me see. Let's see when he's. I know he has a fight coming up. The
So is Wilder and what's called really fighting first? Chisora?
let me
Or
see.
that was just a random face off?
I don't know that fight, but actually Wilder's last fight was back on June the 27th. He fought Anthony Terrell Anthony
Yeah,
Pearden. That was yeah, but he has no scheduled fight coming up. Wilder's 40 now, man.
yeah. But heavyweights, that's kind of not really that old. But he got wear and
Mm.
tear on him. That's the only thing. Why am I stupid? Because I didn't understand what you wrote.
Yeah, I don't know what he wrote either. I tried to see. I thought it was something to do maybe his next fight date.
Made no sense. He said it clearly said Wilder
Of it.
10th drop
Chisora in
link UK.
February.
What?
He's
Why
fighting
does
Chisora
I
in
read it?
February.
Yeah, I read it the way you wrote it. So why does that make me stupid? I know more about boxing than you can forget about boxing. Don't ever call me stupid. I boxed. I boxed. That
I
because you
still
got
can't.
butt hurt because you got butt hurt because I read what you wrote and didn't understand it, which you could have cleared. You clearly understood what I was saying because you repeated. You said Wilder cares oozes in the 10th. I understood it then. I was about to say you corrected yourself. But then you're gonna say I'm stupid. You're ignorant. Yo, that's crazy. Chisora in February. Oh, they say he's fighting Chisora. I was wondering why they was doing that face off. So Wilder literally has to win this fight to fight Usyk.
Oh, that's what he meant. Now I see. Yeah, who the fuck's gonna know what Wilder dropped 10th link UK? That is not the same thing as
And he
saying that
corrected
what you said
himself.
after. Yeah, it's
He
not the
knew
same
that he
thing.
messed up, but then he gonna get mad because I read it. Yo, that's crazy. You don't got her because you left. It's all right to make mistakes. We all human. If you're from the UK and that's how y'all write things, I didn't know. I don't know you. What's up, Warren? Taught me. I appreciate you coming through.
Oh, I think 10th round's too long, man. I think Wilder has to try to KO him in like 6 and under maybe, because I think the longer it goes out, Usyk's gonna have better. I think Usyk's gonna have the better conditioning maybe.
Yeah, it's better for
because he's fighting he fought friggin' Fury at 280 something, man, and he was like 226. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know he wouldn't say that to me in person. I don't care how old I am. He wouldn't say that to me in person. I don't care if you're 6'7", 350 pounds. It doesn't put fear in me. I don't fight people 6'7", 200, 300-400 pounds all the time. I fought, do your research.
Who's Mr. You ran into Mr. Magoo before?
No, this is the first time.
Is it the first time
that I know of, and it's crazy.
Mr. Magoo.
He's like, I'm like, yo, it's like he was angry already coming in. I used to love sparring, and I was hoping I was getting. There's plenty of fighters that I would have fought when I fought, but the contract that they had me under, they were trying to get me. And once I got a whiff of it, I said, nah.
Why Mr. Magoo leave so fast, man? I hope he's still there. I want to know why he thinks that Wilder in the 10th, man. I can't see that. There has to be a reason.
Yeah, let's boxing talk. You know, this is basically a boxing channel. Boxing talk, that's everybody don't have to agree. Everybody that's in this group, we don't have to agree on anything. All we got to do is say, all right, I see how you see it. Now I'm going to tell you how I see it. And we don't got to agree. We ain't got to be enemies. We're not getting paid. If Wilder win or Usyk win, we're not getting paid off of it. So a lot of us been wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo, like he gone.
Oh, I thought you left, Lamont Davis. You still here? Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm trying to build a community, and then people, they get mad because they kind of feel that you're disagreeing with them. But that's boxing talk. It's plenty of times that I disagree with trainers and stuff. And you know, a good example. When I went to the gym the other day, this guy, he used to train, what's his name? Brian Norman in Florida. He said he used, and Teofimo Lopez used to be there and everything. They used to train him. And he said Brian Norman was going to spank Devin Haney. And I was like, I'm not going to disagree with him, but I disagreed with him. So he's a trainer. Even trainers have different opinions. So what makes a person that's not a trainer or a person that's not in the sport mindset more, over them? I would look at trainers that have more of a bigger perception of what might happen in the ring. Even though everybody is not right, because anything can happen in the ring, especially in the heavier weight classes. Yeah, that's crazy. Let me stop putting energy on that. We got 12 people in here. Hit the like button, please. I do it myself sometimes. I be listening to people, and then I forget to hit the like button. But hit the like button and share the video if you can on that. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm mad. I bought a speaker because I was trying to buy a speaker so I could watch videos off of my tablet, and I bought the wrong connections. Now I'm stuck with it because I don't ripped up the box and everything. I was like, yeah. See, I finally got a speaker for my what's called so I can watch videos. And I'm not gonna tell you how I'm able to watch every video that comes out that's not in this that's out, but I'm not, it's my personal. That's why I can't watch it on my computer. I can watch it on my tablet.
Was it a Bluetooth speaker or you had it wired?
No, I don't do Bluetooth. I actually got two speakers. I was gonna get my Bluetooth away. I don't do Bluetooth. For some strange reason, I literally be feeling that I could feel the different because I go in my brother's house. I can't stay in my brother's house. He got his whole house hooked up with what's her name? Siri.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
Siri.
Wi-Fi and Siri and stuff. I could feel the way when you walk in this house, you could feel the energy. Like I'm like, yo, I can't even sleep there. I remember I went down there with my mother. She stayed for the weekend. I didn't sleep the whole weekend. There was too much energy going on in the house. I was like, nah, son, I can't stay here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't do that junk. I might be overthinking it, but I know, but I'm not overthinking because he didn't tell me how his house was hooked up. Once I start peeking out how, he got Siri here, Siri there, say, yep, that's it. He said, don't worry about it. He said, as soon as you go in the room, because I brought my laptop with me. He said, don't worry about it. Just, you should get right on as soon as you go in the room. I said, all right. Yeah, that was crazy. Let me stop getting on that before the men in the black come looking for me. Yeah, yeah, I thought you had something to talk about with that Muhammad Ali that you had printed out. Talking points, or did I touch on the points?
No, everything, we covered it.
Oh, yeah. So, how many days we got before the drop of Fight Night Forever? I'm like, why don't no one really say anything?
December, was it December 20 or December 22nd?
I think it's the 22nd. I'm wondering why nobody really says anything about it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
play. I'm gonna play it, but the question is, if I play it, am I gonna enjoy it? That's the thing. That I have to play. I'm playing it parsec. But if they had figured out how to do it, where you could do online, somehow they hacked into that thing and they figure out how to do it, that would be a game changer. I know that, and I have a good feeling that's not gonna happen.
No, I don't think they're gonna do too much because it's gonna pop the radar. It's already gonna pop the radar because it's they advertising. Once you like really advertise it, you should have let it be more word of mouth. But if EA get a whiff of them like selling this game any type of way, they're gonna be right on them. And I don't think they like initially. It depends on if it sells, how well does it sell.
What might happen is so I don't know if you saw Nintendo won a lot of court cases. So a lot of these ROM sites are being shut down. They have they have precedent law now, so now they can refer to those cases and they're shutting down all these sites. You just do a Google search, just type in ROM, So all the ones that have been open for the last, let's say, I don't know, 4 or 8 years, those got wiped out now. So now the new one's gonna pop up. But I have a feeling the fact that the court systems, like, you could sue now. There's some, the authorities now could come after these guys. Wherever they put that ROM might be under that. It might have that effect. Wherever the ROM's being hosted, they might just shut it down every time.
Yeah, that probably might be it because EA they money hungry. They don't want nobody to get no money. But I guess they're gonna see if it picks up steam.
Well, that's the key. That's the key. As long as they can find, if they could just find one trace, one somewhere showing that these guys are at that they sub anything to say, okay, if you want to donate money to me or if you want to do, you know what I mean? Anything. That's all it needs.
Yeah.
That's all they need.
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. Like this guy, he was doing a fight yesterday. It was boxing matches on yesterday, and he was telling people to donate it. And it's always that one guy that said, "But you're doing it illegally. You don't supposed to be letting us watch this fight." Always be that one guy to mess it up. He said, "Well, I could turn it off." He said, "Hey, if you turn it off, you turn it off." But he said, "You're trying to get money out of us, telling us to donate money. And you keep saying you're going to keep talking over the fight if people don't help donate and help pay for the fight." And I was like, oh, it's always that one guy. One guy. Always mess it up for everybody. Yeah, so, that might be it. I was gonna be the bad guy with Fight Night Forever because they didn't give me an interview, but I was like, nah, I'm just joking. I ain't gonna do that. Yeah, but it's crazy. Lamont Davis, you still here? You should come on the show one day. I'm trying to get people to come on the show because the more people we get to actually speak out, like verbally, the developers, not only Still City. That's why I keep telling people when we do these videos, they're not for only Still City. They're for the boxing, game developers in general. Because they be watching us. I'm pretty sure, 100% sure. And some of them, they can't say anything. God, dog, I just get 10 people. We got 10. That thing switched up quick. Went from 8 to 10 real quick. So, yeah, developers, they're watching us. The gaming industry are watching us. And yesterday, I finally got a gold package for my LinkedIn so I could reach out to more developers. I was like, man, and it's free. I said I'm gonna do the free and see how well it does. And then after that, if it keeps my numbers going up, I might keep it. I think it's $40 a month or something like that, even though that's a lot of money. But sometimes you got yeah.
Let me share my screen quick. I just want to show one thing here.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about the stream sharing function. I could have showed people the blog while I was reading it.
Yeah.
That would have made a better sense too.
Yeah, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to I was trying to get on Kick because my friends he said it's easy, but I think the reason why he got Kick because with OBS you can add more different things, but you still gotta have some type of equipment, and you gotta. I don't know if I'm gonna invest in that right now. Maybe if I could get when I like getting if we ever get to 1,000 followers.
Did you add it?
What, the Kick?
No, the moderator.
Oh no. Tag on. When you told me, I just was like, yeah, what is he talking about? All right. I keep forgetting. You should be. I don't know why I don't give you a steady. You like stay as a moderator.
I know, cause I always forget. Usually, I forget about it in the beginning when we're setting it up. There we go. Here, I want to show you something. Let's see here. There we go. Can you see this? We're gonna zoom in a bit on this thing here.
Yeah, I see it now.
You see it now?
Yeah.
So I picked this out of the Reddit because I don't know what it was about it, but it just made me feel a certain way. But this person names, how you say his name? Suvage? This is like a funny way to say Savage, I guess.
Yeah, it probably Savage.
Savage. This guy, there's Steel City. 1, make all online fights left-sided. 2, get rid of flash KOs. And 3, reduce flash knockdowns. Instant improvement.
Yo, that's super casual. But
why would somebody have this in their head? Like, why would they think this would improve a boxing game? Like, I don't get it.
They're arcade game, they're Tekken players and stuff. Even in Tekken, you can't choose the side you want to be on. Or can you?
But this is the thing. Well, the thing that caught me, this thing about fight on the left side. He only wants to fight on the left side. But you know what that is too? That's the 2D aspect of this game. That tells you something too about Undisputed. And it's very 2D because he can't think because the way the game is set up. And I mentioned that the other day. If you notice with Undisputed, you're always going to be on whatever side of the screen you start on. You'll always be on that side of the screen no matter what. There's something that prevents us from like really going in a circle. You can't truly move around the ring in Undisputed. But this is funny. This guy only wants to be on the left side. He can't. So that's like I found that funny. But the big number 2, get rid of flash KOs.
That's crazy. Why not?
And this is a
defense. Lamont was.
But that's what I'm saying
earlier. Defense.
We have a community. You got a community of people. That's what they're asking for in a boxing game, and these are the voices that are winning.
Yeah, that's crazy. That don't make no sense. Did he have anybody disagree with him?
Let me see here. I haven't been flash KO'd so long. I've been flash KO'd twice today out of 20 matches. This guy's getting flash KO'd. 2 out of 20 in bad.
That's his play style that's doing that. What
so
Dear Steel City, give us what the other guy was saying, pineapple.
Give me my money back.
Oh.
but the thing is, okay, so it comes down to this whole argument again about flash KOs. How do you define a flash KO in a video game? Like how are they doing it right now? How are you supposed to really do it? Because part of the community doesn't want it because they're thinking it's random.
It's not.
Half the time it's not random. They're getting counter punched because they're just a lot of these guys are just throwing endless punches and they're not considering what are they trying to hit the guy. A lot of people fight where they're just throwing punches and making like a force shield. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not really trying to punch you. There's just some kind of logic they have in their head that if I stand here, maybe if I keep on punching, the guy's gonna walk into it.
Yeah.
Like weird kind of game styles.
See, I don't know if they thinking the way I'm thinking. I think that's supposed to be part of the vulnerability system. Like, it's a chance that you could get knocked out, which like in real boxing, if you're not defending yourself and you get caught with a shot, it's a good chance you get knocked out. That's the whole setup to me.
But going back, what is causing these people to want to get rid of it? Like one thing is like this whole Tekken and Street Fighter when the meter's finished, that's it, the game's done, and you get knocked out. That's what they want in this kind of game, right? That's one way.
Yeah, they just want to be able to brawl back and forth. A lot of them, they okay with the hurt system of you just getting dazed and stuff, which is in boxing. But they don't want it so you just get knocked out for not having defense. Like if I'm fighting you like 2 or 3 rounds and then I catch you because you're tired or something like that, and I'm a puncher, you should fall out. You should hit the canvas some type of way or a flash KO. Momentum. But a lot of people, they're not using a boxing brain. And this is what people gonna say. It's just a game. Yeah, as long as you're winning, you're gonna keep saying that.
But would you say like the current setup right now that Undisputed has, which is it's really okay if you catch if the stamina is running on low or your health is low, that's like it's like is that the calculation?
To me, when your stamina is low and your health is low, you should technically be able to get a KO because you're tired. You're it's like you can't really defend yourself, and you're more suspect to get hurt. To some people, it's too random. Yeah, exactly. But it's like when you got
Why?
hit
That's
where
what I'm
you
trying to
being
figure out. Why
inflicted.
why are people feeling it's random? That's the thing I don't understand.
Yeah, because they feel like when they were fighting the whole fight that they didn't get knocked out from one punch, and then like if you get knocked out in the first round, right, and your boxer, which I don't know if they got in the game anymore, if his toughness is up, he should be able to take more abuse or more take punches better. But if he's fighting somebody that has power that equalize his toughness, then he should be able to drop. That's what comes into play. That's what
Yo,
a
you
lot. But
know,
a lot. What'd you say?
you know what? Fight Night Champion did a really good job of that.
Exactly.
Like this one, Mike Tyson in the first 1, 2, like the first 3 rounds, Mike Tyson, if he touches you, you could get you. If he touches you, there's a chance. Well, you could get stunned, or you might just even get a flash KO'd. That's how they had it. They had it in Champion, but in Undisputed, there's nobody that fights like you can't do that in Undisputed. Period. There's
Yeah.
there's something wrong on that respect.
They got too many of the wrong people complaining because they feel like they should be able to fight however they want and no consequences to however they fight. What's up, Lux? Yeah, they got people that feel that they could fight anyway, and they should still be successful in how they fight. And that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't be able to fight any way you want to fight, and there's no type of consequences to your fighting style. But some people they want to fight like a slugger, and their thing is we both should be slugging. No, let people box and let people slug. And I'm keep saying this, and I hope Ash, because there's 10 people watching, but it's not 10 people I don't see and agree. So I'm pretty sure like somebody from Steel City or whatever is watching. So my thing is the game should have consequences for certain ways of the way you're fighting. I don't care if it's a video game or not. We're not 10 and 20 years ago. Technology advanced and people want better. They want more. They want boxing to change. That tell you that they want more. At least as an option. And people, and another argument is people not realizing that this game initially was supposed to be a hardcore sim boxing game. And then Ash said, we're going to add an arcade mode. So why did it change from an arcade? We're changing to an arcade mode to we got an arcade-ish light game to now we're going to add a hardcore mode. That's crazy.
Let me ask you this. If there's if we were to do you think it's possible to take an arcade element and to make the game more sim? Can I have an example of something? Let me see if this if it'll pass the test.
I would say yeah. I could say yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
What I was gonna
then
say,
it comes to
what
what are you adding? What are you adding to make it
so
that little
so
bit of arcade?
so going back to the whole knockout thing, what, like, how do you constitute a knockout in a video game? What about if there was like a multiplier effect, like an arcade multiplier effect? You know, you see those multipliers.
Yeah,
Could that contribute to making it giving it a more sim? If you do the multiplier in this case of boxing, mean you're doing something boxing, or you're doing something that you're gonna get rewarded. You should be getting rewarded. Therefore, it should be, you know,
yeah,
it's an arcade. But see, the thing is, that's an arcade thing. You see that arcade thing like in all the 2K games. Like
yeah,
you're chaining actions, and eventually, okay, therefore now you're gonna get a better 3-point shot, or you're gonna do something. Something's gonna happen. But that's an arcade element, right?
yeah.
But could that improve the gameplay in a boxing game if you're doing this to make the player do something that dissuade them from doing the spamming shit, what they're trying to fight this kind of foolish to break the game?
I don't know. See, then we going back to that spamming word.
Yeah,
The spamming to me in boxing, spamming is gonna always exist because it's what you're taught to do. That's why I keep trying to tell people it's what you're taught to do. You're taught to a spam. If somebody not defense, see, that's why even though people complain about the defense, we really don't have, I mean, there's really no defense in the game. The game is not defensive, what would I say, defensive responsible. It doesn't give you that defensive responsibility in the game. So people complaining about things that don't make sense. And I'm like, what are you talking about? If you keep talking about spamming, that means you're just slugging. Your defense went right out the window. If there was defense in the game, you wouldn't be complaining about spamming. If a person was spamming punch, like if a person spamming jabs, which they did a lot to me because I'm a shorter fighter. My thing was, I'm going to counter them. I'm going to make them stop throwing the thing. Stop throwing the jabs. But we don't have
shout
things to equal out that thing. I mean,
yo,
neutralize that. What you saying?
hey Shaolin, what part of Ready to Rumble do you think you're saying there's some aspects of Ready to Rumble and Undisputed? What tell me one, nigga. That's one thing I know. The biggest thing about Ready to Rumble I remember is just that whole alphabet thing, spelling out. You gotta do little tricks, and then you get the and once you spell out Rumble, you then you could go into super mode or something. That was the but that's the only thing that's the only I don't see that like I don't
Maybe,
know. I need to
maybe
know
they
what
got
did they pull
undisputed
from that,
words.
man. I don't see them pull nothing from that yet.
Maybe they had the undisputed words, and then they said, "No, we ain't gonna put the words, but we'll just."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah. It's like it's crazy. It's like crazy when I watch the game. That's why I say it's hard for me to turn off the boxing brain in me when I see the game. Like when I played the game earlier, I was like, all right, we're on the right path. All we need is tweaks. When I taught the Ash, because Ash, like I keep saying, Ash used to like once or twice a week, I used to talk to Ash in his DMs on Twitter. Or I email him. When it's something that is more stressed out or bigger, I used to talk to Ash in his email. But all of that stopped once Will got there. So when people, this is why I get angry at the content creators and stuff, and I get mad at certain people that keep saying, it ain't Will, man. You keep blaming Will. It ain't Will. So the Ash stopped talking to me on his own. That don't make no sense. Ash's brother was still talking to me. But it was Will, because when I talked to Will, I gave Will a list of boxers that I talked to from when I was with Round for Round that I still had contact with that wanted to be in the game. He said, Poe, we don't need your help. you know, we don't need your help. And I was like, what? I said, that's crazy. EA never said that to me. Because they were getting boxes. They never said that. But this thing like, I can't let Poe get his foot in the door. Let me see what he said. And the aspect of that is when you play Ready to Rumble, it was rock'em sock'em fighting just like the Undisputed.
You know what's funny about about what Shaolin said? Nobody ever complains about the spamming and Ready to Rumble. You know what I mean? Because it's everyone. It's not supposed to be a boxing game.
Yeah, that's the thing that I talk about. They don't complain about certain things that happen. Yeah, spamming came from fighting games, but certain things and fighting games that they do and Undisputed, nobody's like really complaining about. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? And you know what I did? One day I went because Gub, he's a Tekken fan. So I joined the group just to see how the conversations go. And I said, Dad, they should make Tekken more realistic. The styles and stuff should be way more realistic than they are. You know, them jokers was looking at me like I was crazy. Well, I assume because the way they was posting. So I'm like, so why is it easy for y'all to come into the fight night groups? I mean, not the fight night, to the Undisputed groups, and y'all have so much to say about a boxing game. That's why I used to get like, I know Gub probably he'd be in here watching, but he's like, I don't know if, or he probably changed his name and trying to be civil. But Gub used to be at me hard for no reason at all. He said, Poe, we think the same. No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't think the same.
This thing mentioned about the Run Fest, right? I'm wondering if this all has to do with this whole thing where you can't change sides during the fight. If they lock you, whatever side you started, you're locked in no matter what. So it's like you're not really moving around the ring when you think about it.
Yeah, but
it's restricting you.
Yeah, but this is the thing that get me mad when people say we should be able to pick our corner. That ain't boxing. Where you get that? I could pick which side of the screen I want to fight at. That's not real boxing. It shouldn't
because,
be.
You know why? Go ahead. And it shouldn't even have any effect because you know what it is. It goes back to the whole Tekken and Street Fighter guys. And those controls, they have to do like the circle moons, half moons, quarter moons, all kind of stuff. So when you get accustomed playing it, you always you start off on the left side, right? So that's how you learn how to do those things. And then when you have to go on the other side, you don't want to do it that way. But they're thinking that's the same idea in a boxing game, which it's not. We're not doing circle moves, all that kind of shit. So it shouldn't matter what side of the screen you're on at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Shaolin said Tekken isn't Tekken anymore. Poe, that game said, oh man, they don't messed up my game. I haven't played the last couple, I think 2 or 3, but
I played the other day, man. I didn't like it, man.
You did? Wow.
You know, no, here's the thing. I don't like playing any of these kind of games where you're juggling people. I don't like to play. I don't want to play you're playing a fighting game, you're juggling them and shit, man. It's like, here's the thing. There's people who like that kind of, they like seeing that. That's part of that's the whole thing. I'm going to do a 100-hit combo on this guy because you're juggling them. You know what I mean? I don't care for juggling.
Yeah. So why you didn't like his Shaolin phrase 187? Oh yeah, Shaolin. That means I'm guessing you say Shaolin phrase. That means you're a fan of I don't know how old you are, but like the martial arts games. I mean movies. And I want to share some of my ideas on. Well, it's on my blog because I'm trying to get a company to make a martial arts video game. But you said there's actually a game somewhere out there like that, right? AJ. That
what kind of martial
arts
game?
Reflects like the martial arts games that movies people used to watch back in the day, the drive-in movie games. You know, the drunk.
Where wind meets, where the wind meets, that game. I'm almost on the. I played it, man, but I have it there. I'm thinking of when I'm gonna delete it because I don't because the thing is once I started realizing that if I want certain moves, I gotta pay for those moves and shit.
Yeah.
The game is for free, but I don't know. Something about that, man.
So you kind of setting the why certain games shouldn't be free. You know,
Yeah.
why? Because some people they say, well, we should have like because a lot of people was asking for Undisputed to be free in the current state it is. Yeah, but when it first came out, they said it should be free and we should pay for the cosmetics. They even wanted the boxers to be free plus the game be free. That will never work. And I keep telling people these boxers want money. These boxers want money, especially a lot of these inactive boxers. They want money. Because I think that's going to always exist unless somebody like Turkey is involved. If Turkey was involved in Undisputed, all the boxes would be free. We might get cosmetics. You have to pay for cosmetics, but I'm pretty sure all the boxes will be free. Yes, I'm a big fan of martial arts and boxing, but my name is homage to Wu-Tang. Oh yeah. Oh, them my brothers. I met a couple of them. One of my friends, he was their manager. One of my good friends, he that was the manager of Wu-Tang at some point. Yeah, I'm a big Wu-Tang fan. I don't like the new Tekken because it feels like Street Fighter with heat engaged. Dad,
What's heat engage? Like what was that? Missiles? Homing?
break that down. I was like saying dad, but I'm like, it's all these added elements to it. I'm like, dad, what does that mean? I mean, what exactly like what just put you ain't gotta go in depth, but what does the heat engage with the fire around the characters when he like builds up and stuff, get a special boost or something? Because that wasn't Tekken. You get these power boosts and stuff. I don't remember that as a part of the game. There's a lot of these games going by. They're going by how popular a game is, and they say, well, we can make these changes to add more money, but that's not always the case. That's not going to help you get more and more money. Because fans gonna be like long-time fans, because they think we want to capture more fans. But to me, when you're dealing with arcade games, your fan base is already your fan base. Who you're trying to capture is the hardcore fan, the hardcore. Like if you got a martial arts game, you want to capture the hardcore fan base. You got to put in better martial arts, techniques and stuff in it. But other than that, you can't do too much. Yeah, I don't know. We got 10 people watching. Appreciate you. Even though we got 11 people in here. Even though y'all not in the chat, could y'all please hit the like button? I appreciate it if you do. It helps the channel. Not that we getting monetized or anything, but it helps the channel because it helps people see what we're talking about all over the YouTube. It helps us get more views and stuff like that. I want people to see what we're talking about and they understand what we're trying to put out there for the community. We want y'all to come on our show. You could come on the talk show and you could be heard. We could interview you or whatever. And a lot of people be feeling, what you gonna interview me for? We want to know how you feel, what you think about boxing and gaming in general. I'd rather show you, but yes, power boost that gives extra damage. I figured that's what it was.
It's a traits.
Yeah.
Traits.
Tunes into my stream so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, I'm Dad, do I got you as a friend? I gotta see if I got you as a friend so I could like check out some of your stuff. Yeah, leave your leave so I could tag into your stream. I mean your YouTube. I'm pretty sure I probably do, but I probably didn't put it so anytime you go live or you do something, I can like go and watch it. Yeah, let me see.
Hey, Pope, I'm gonna take off.
Yeah, it say we officially hit the 2 hour mark. So yeah, think we're gonna end the show right now. Appreciate everybody that came in. And it seemed like people trying to come in when we're about to leave, like they always do. So, hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. I'll stream on Twitch, Shaolin. I post clips only on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I got a friend you on Twitch. All right, AJ Pax, you got anything you want to leave us with?
I think that's it.
Okay.
The only thing the only thing, just how we started, I just thought about why don't they give us manual blocking? If we had manual blocking, it would get rid of all this hula hooping defense you're seeing right now. This bobblehead shit. It's like Steel City shot themselves in the foot by forcing the user that they have to tilt left or right in order to activate the side blocks.
Yeah.
They should have just had manual blocking and a story, and it would change the gameplay. So like so all this shit where you see people glitching the block, it's because of Steel City. They're stupid. They don't understand how the game works.
Exactly. All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all with tune into the show next week. Hopefully, we have some guests. Some of y'all be guests. Shaolin, you can come on the show too. But we all you don't gotta show your face. A lot of people don't want to share their face or they think their voice don't sound appropriate to be on a no, we don't care about all that. We just want this show to be a community show. This show, it's not Poe's show, like I keep telling AJ, it's our show. So until the next time, peace. See you if you come tomorrow, AJ.
We'll see.
All right. That's fair.
All right, man. Later.
Later.